What's up, y'all? This is Anthony, aka Sir Kibble 2, looking at World of Tanks Xbox 360 edition. And if you're familiar with World of Tanks, this is probably not a video you're gonna want to watch because you already know about the game. If you don't know about the game, then this is a good video to watch because I'm just going to explain some of the simple stuff. I'm not going to explain crazy strategies or whatever. I want to show you some gameplay, what this game kind of looks like. I am not a veteran player. I just started playing this myself. I always knew about it on the PC, but whoops. I have not talked and played this game at the same time. But yeah, I've kind of played this game a little bit already today, but never played it before today. And I've been detected. So if you're unfamiliar with World of Tanks, man, my game might end really quickly. I don't get out of this position. I am a scout tank. The scout tanks are small, nimble, fast, but weak as frick. The goal of a scout tank is to spot other vehicles. Ow. Like the one that's shooting at me. It spotted me. And you can see at the bottom of my corner it says I am detected. So I need to get out of there. Once it's gone, I'm no longer detected. Ooh, this could be bad. I think I'm okay. Oh, he was right. Oh, wow. He was right on my tail. I didn't even know it. Is there any way to say thanks? No. So I got off to a really, really bad start to this match. Like I said, I've never played this while. And we're playing against a really good team too. Never played this while talking, so my senses aren't exactly correct. Oh yeah, I'm done. Alright, let's watch somebody else. So the goal is to either destroy everyone or capture the enemy's base, which is represented by a flag. So he's gone. And you can see at the top, they have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 players left. We have 2. This just wasn't going to be a good game from the start, but we have somebody capturing the base. So, but they have 12 people. So, but there's 3 different there's 5 different types of tanks, I believe. There's Scout, which is supposed to spot other tanks. Then there's the medium tanks, which are kind of more universal tanks. They can attack and defend. Then there are the heavy tanks, which are obviously assault tanks. Then there are this guy. They're just gonna take the base. And that match is over. There he goes. So I'm gonna show you a bit of the garage and everything else since that match went terribly wrong. So after you win or lose, you get experience. They show you what you get without premium and with premium. And you also get silver, which allows you to buy things. You can see what you got and what you lost. Since I sustained some damage from that battle, I lose 624 silver for the cost of repairs. That happens every match if you take damage. There are all the spots that happened. And we didn't destroy. Well, I wasn't part of destroying anything. And where did I end up on the thing? I gave someone 2 damage somehow. I don't know how that happened. Anyway. This game is tough. It's not an easy game, and it's really tough to play with randoms. This game is definitely meant for friends. So here's the garage, and in it you can choose whatever tank you want to use. I am using a bunch of scout tanks. I did have other tanks. I do have a medium tank, which is, again, more so for, you could use it as a scout, but it's a little more versatile. Then there's heavy tanks, which are more for assault, tank destroyers, and artillery, which are more of the kind of tanks that can sit back and launch artillery from far away. And I haven't experimented with those yet. I've been playing for about 6 hours, and I haven't gotten very far. The ratio to getting a tank, it's not terrible. I could have a tier 4 tank now, which you can see. So the name of the tank is an M2 Light. If you look to the left of that card, you see the diamond and the 2 in Roman numerals. And the diamond represents the type of tank it is, which in this case is a scout. And the Roman numerals represent the tier. There's 10 tiers of tanks. And I could be a tier 4, but I'm not good at the game. So the higher you go in tiers, the more difficult the opponent you're going to have. So at this point, there's no point for me to upgrade, even though I can. This game is ruthless. People are ruthless. If you're new to this game, you will get dominated a lot. Probably, I've played about 23 matches. I've survived 5 of them. I'm not good at this game. I am new to this game. So if you are like me, and you are interested in this game, and you really want to get into it, be prepared to lose. You will lose. Once you start upgrading, things get better, by far. So let's look at upgrading real quick since we're in the garage. This is, let's look at one I haven't upgraded yet. Each tank has its own little tree, and these packages allow you to upgrade it in various forms. If you look to the right, you can see the stat bars. Now you can only upgrade with tank XP and the free XP that you have. You gain tank XP by using that specific tank in a battle. So the more tank XP you have, obviously, the more you can do with it. So first, you have to research it, which will spend and use up tank XP. And free XP if you don't have any. Tank XP, which in this case we don't, so we're just going to use it anyway. But if I did have tank XP, it would use that first and then use leftover free XP. If you have enough tank XP, you won't use any free XP. So once it's researched, then you can buy it. That's just the way the game is. World of Warplanes is similar if you've played that game, though this game is older, so the concepts come from this game. From there, you do the same thing for the rest of the tree, and then you can branch off into a different type of tank, and then upgrade that tank in the same manner, and so on and so forth. You can buy consumables, which are kind of one-time use things. For example, armor-piercing PZGR 36s. You can buy these. They don't cost me anything. These are the default. You can also buy high-explosive Springer 18s? I'm not sure what that is. The more you buy, the more silver it takes. And you can only have a certain amount of ammo. That's why this is going down as this goes up. And then it goes into the reserves. So you just have to figure out what you want to do, how much ammo you want to have, what type of ammo you want to have. And if you want to resupply it, you got to pay for it. If you don't use it, you won't pay for it. So in that last match, I didn't use any ammo, so I didn't have to pay for any extra. Then there's the supplies. These are kind of perks, if you will. Some cost actual money. We'll get into that in a second. But others cost just plain silver, which you gain from participating in matches. And you pretty much always get silver from a match, no matter how bad you do. Of course, the better you do, and if you win, the more silver you get. And depending on which tank you're using, your consumables and supplies will look different. For example, yes, don't want to do that. I have a habit of hitting A to do something. Alright, here we go. Alright, X is the upgrade panel. Okay, so go to equipment, supplies, same thing. As you can see, quite more expensive stuff. Actually, let's see if this is the same thing. Equipment, empty. Oh no, it's not the same thing. So they look the same. So consumables and supplies. Yeah, so these are different, which they don't cost as much, which is lovely. But equipment obviously will cost a little bit more. Just a little bit. Not sure if it's permanent. I'm pretty sure it's permanent. It'd be nice if it is. If it's not, that sucks. You can also customize your tank. Outfit it with different camouflage. Winter, summer, desert. Outfit it with inscriptions of some sort. Emblems. On both sides of the tank. And these cost money. You can have it for 30 days. You can permanently buy it. Or you can have it for 7 days. Sort of nickel and dimey. 50 isn't that much, but if we go to the store... By the way, the loading times in this game are pretty bad. Really bad, actually. Oh, it's annoying. Okay. Get gold. 1,250 gold is $7. So you buy that, you can buy lots of different inscriptions and or camouflage for pretty cheap. They cost, 30, 50 gold. Not that big of a deal. If you really wanted to get crazy, you could spend $100 for 25,000 gold, which could get you a premium account for a year and premium tanks. So is this game pay to win? No, for the most part. Depends on who you're playing. You could say that for a lot of different free-to-play games, but this one in particular, not a lot of people are paying to win. But for those who have gotten further in the game, let's get into another match as I talk. For those who have gotten further in the game, you will be met with a lot of one-shot kills and things like that, especially as you get higher and higher, because people have bought and paid for tanks that are just downright better. They still have to upgrade them, just like everyone else, but their tanks are better. You pay for better tanks, you get rewarded with better tanks. So yes, there is a hint of pay to win in here, much more so than last game I played, Loadout. Alright, so we were just on this map, and I got wrecked. I'm trying to be a little bit smarter this time. Pay attention to what I'm doing. There's probably going to be people coming from the top. And there we go. Raining down fire already. So as soon as you look at someone, you've spotted them. Once you've spotted them, if you hit the A button, you can tell them to attack them. Oh, frick. So, like, see, I spotted. Oh, jeez. Now, you might say, why in the world am I hiding behind a bush? You're a tank. Tanks don't hide behind bushes. Let me tell him to retreat. The scout tanks can hide behind bushes. Any tank can hide behind a bush and start pinpointing and spotting other tanks. That's kind of the idea. Like this guy, he's not hiding behind a bush. And these bushes aren't exactly tall, but they're tall enough. There we go. The reticle has different colors. It goes yellow, red, and orange. Not in that order. Yellow, orange, red is the correct order. If it's yellow, that means your bullets, your ammo, is not going to do any damage. If it's orange, there's mild penetration. If it's red, you have even the chance for a critical hit. So obviously, you want your reticle to be red. And it keeps growing and shrinking because just like in first-person shooters, if you're moving, your aim is going to be worse. Alright, here we go. Now, I'm not firing upon too many people. Oh, jeez, man. Yeah, I'm not firing upon people because I'm only a scout tank. And it takes a lot for me to take down other tanks. And my job is to spot. So if I'm spotting, I'm doing an okay job. Man, this is rough. Is that an enemy tank coming up here? Okay, no. Or maybe it was. We're doing okay. I actually might... Oh, never mind. There's a guy over here. I mean, this is literally like first-person shooter, like tank action. There we go. Hello. Stuck behind something. You got him for me. Alright. I am detected though, so I need to get the frick on up out of here. My tank looks like a toy. I don't even know. It's just so small. You will find, again, with randoms, it's just not as fun. You need to play this game with friends to get maximum enjoyment. The problem with playing with randoms is that you can have your strategy. You can use the scout as it's needed. You can have medium tanks doing everything what you're supposed to do. But at the beginning of the match especially... Oh, there's only one tank left. Sweet. Okay, one loss and one victory. We aren't going to lose. We better not lose. Oh, it's only a scout. It's okay. I can tell by the type of tank. Because it's a diamond. So yeah, the more you play with randoms, the more you just realize it's really hard to coordinate. Battlefield and Call of Duty, for example, are a lot more faster pace. You have to think if you want to win. You do have to play as a team if you want to win. Sort of concerning Call of Duty. Call of Duty, you might be able to get away with it a little bit more. But in this game, because it's so slow and it's so methodical and you have to plan so much that if you don't And everybody's just doing their own thing, even though they have the general idea of what to do with their tanks. There's no overall coordination going on. And so at the end of the day, you're just kind of hoping that what you're doing is helping the other person and keeping them safe. And if you're not spotting somebody, especially if you're a scout, then you're looking for people, hoping to, because just running and gunning, quote unquote, doesn't help. And I've achieved the Abrams Medal 4. Yay. I did? This is a sharpshooter medal. You get some medals when you perform different things. So you see, in the bottom left, I used some ammo, so I received a deduction in my silver to refill my ammo, and I took some damage, which I almost died, so it's about 471 silver instead of 600 something. But that's World of Tanks, really, in a nutshell. Show the tank trees real quick before we end this. There are many different types of tanks. As you can see, you have to use different tanks to get to different trees. Or different, you have to use different tanks, to get to different tanks. So for example, let me go back to America as soon as it's done loading. Everything takes so long to load. Okay. So for example, if I want to get to this tank, I have to go through this part of the tree right here. Ultimately, with this one. So ultimately, I have to use this tank in order to get to that tank, as far as it looks right now. And same thing with these tanks, and so on and so forth. And there are different tanks for different countries. I don't even know what country this is. Germany? I don't know. This flag is not ringing a bell to me. I'm not sure what era this is placed in, because there are so many different types of tanks. So I'm not sure if this is just an all-encompassing era of all the different tanks, or this is a specific era of tanks. Either way, there's quite a few tanks that you can buy and upgrade. Some tanks you can upgrade more than others. I wish you could upgrade an individual tank on its own. So like the M2 Light that I'm using, I really like this tank, and it's one I want to upgrade, but I've already gotten it as far as I can, not even as far as I want. And the next thing I have is the M3 Stuart. What I would like to do is just keep upgrading this tank, and then I could upgrade the tier of the tank. So kind of like in Forza, where the more you upgrade the car, the higher its rank goes. So you can have an E-class car, but you can modify it up to a C-class, for example. Maybe max it out at B-class or something, depending on what you outfit it with. I wish you could do that in this game, but so far I haven't seen that being the case. So overall, if you want to give this game a shot, be my guest. If you're like me and you kind of would rather play this game with other people, I'd say just stay away from it, because if you don't have anybody to play with, it's not going to be as much fun. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to wonder how in the world you're supposed to succeed. There's just going to be a lot of frustration, and that's not saying that if you get far enough, you'll be able to start dominating people. But again, the higher tier you go, the more difficult your opponents. So you have to stick around 1 and 2 and 3 tier in order to kind of get used to the game, because the higher you go, the more difficult your opponents. And there's a lot to learn for this game. So it's not a game where you can just jump in and go. People will dominate you, as I said. So that's World of Tanks. It's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. It is a good game. It works, it functions, but the pacing, the strategy you need, it's just not really built for randoms. One person cannot save the entire team like Call of Duty, for example. Maybe even Battlefield or Halo. So you kind of just, you gotta find some people to play with. And if you don't have any, I would say save the frustration, save the boredom, play something else. My name is Anthony, aka Sir Kibble2. Thanks for watching. See y'all later.
The Rockman was like, I had a very clear idea of what the Rockman was going to sound like. The NG theme is heavily based on the NG characters, although I didn't have a whole lot of the writing available. Like, you know, all the writing that shows up in all the